got it made, you never delay. You came and you paid, survey the property you made. Put in an offer, you didn't have to say. I got it made for real. It's feeling like God in here. Bitch got that grace appeal. They stick with a note and what else am I supposed to feel? Won't you come in, put your feet up, how you waiting here? Let me back up while you do you, I'm on NFL. Check my feng shui, I can rearrange, that's a chandelier. Get a show ready where you set it
Look,
up,
I ain't
it's a
tripping, you can take it with it. This braille talking gotta make them feel. I'm something special, I ain't just a vessel. I found your word was my way to heal. Now I'm outside trying to spread the message. The devil dripping, he been causing wreckage. My testimony went from declining to the upper hand, finally gave me leverage. What I felt was a stretch, it led to agility. You were the balance, I needed stability. All the allure, spirit so pure, from Father to Son like the holiest Trinity. Open arms, I receive the blessings. In every lesson, hope to see progression. The more you lead me to community, the more I see a need for intercession. Gotta pray for 'em.
I'll be your temple, I'll be your sanctuary. You can come dwell here, won't you come and fill me? Jesus, have your way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the F.L.Y Show, where the F.L.Y stands for First Love You. This is yours truly, Jasmine D. Millage, and I am so excited about the show on tonight. We are now in the month of March, y'all. This is March 2025. I know today is just March the 6th, but to me, it feels like time is moving so fast. It is moving. And so, with that being said, it is, first of all, happy National Women's History Month. I am celebrating all the ladies out here all month long. I'm excited about the trailblazers that we have, the women that have paved the way, the women that have come before, ladies like myself that are doing so many phenomenal things in the world that is just letting women like myself know that throughout all adversity, no matter what is going on, no matter what you may be facing, you can achieve what you set your mind to. And you can be exactly who God created. You can be who exactly God created you to be. And you don't have to bend, and you don't have to sway in becoming who you are and being who you are. You can just live authentically as yourself, and you don't have to duplicate nobody. You don't have to. Yeah, you can look at someone and say, okay, I like certain things from this person. I like certain features, or I like the way they walk, or their work ethics. You can look at things like that and want to emulate it, excuse me, but you can still be authentically who you want to be. You can draw. So, with all that being said, again, welcome to the F.L.Y Show. Welcome back to everyone that is tuning in with me here every single week. And if you are new here, I am excited to have you here. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Jasmine D. Millhouse. I will put a link in the comments so that you all can subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I drop things on YouTube as well, not just Facebook and on IG. So, the show for tonight, we are, again, we're in March, and we are marching forward. That is tonight's thing. We are marching forward. And I am so excited about the things that God has, in store for us. I am excited about the things that are coming. I know, we look at the negative, and we look at what's going on in other aspects of the world, what I shall not name, but I get excited about what I know God is going to be doing in this season. So instead of me looking at and listening to the negative, instead of me looking at and following what could potentially happen, I'm looking at different things that I could do to make sure I steward what I have, so that I can grow what has been given to me and cultivate it in the ways that I can leave a legacy for my kids and their kids and their kids, and so on and so forth. Because we right here creating generational wealth and breaking generational curses. You understand me? So tonight, again, we are talking about marching forward. We are diving in what it means to march forward with boldness, without hesitation, and with unwavering faith. Because life presents obstacles, but movement is the key to victory. Faith requires movements. Understand? Faith requires movements. So again, welcome everybody. But I want to open up, tonight's discussion with a question. And if you want to put it in the chat, if you want to answer it in the chat, you can. Or if you want to answer it to yourself, that's fine. However you decide to do it. But what is one area in your life where you know it is time to move forward? Whether that's a relationship, a job, whatever, your hair, whatever. What is one area in your life where you know it is time for you to move forward? I had to sit and think about, what does it mean to march forward? What does it mean to move in a progress direction? What does it mean to move from step A to step B to step C to step D? What does that look like? That means you have to move with intentionality, not just with motion, because I can run in place, but it doesn't mean that I'm going anywhere. I'm just moving, but I'm not moving with intent. I'm moving, to get my body going, to get me hyped, to get me warmed up. But where am I going? What is the direction that I'm taking? What steps am I taking? Because it says the steps of a good man are ordered, but I have to understand, where am I going? Where are my foots leading? Where are my foots? Where are my feet leading me? Where am I taking where am I following God on this journey? And I know that I have to stay focused despite every opposition that I face, because we can sometimes look left and look right and look at the things that's going on in life and look at what we may be facing, look at our trials and tribulations, and it causes us to become stagnant. It causes us to get stuck. It causes us to quit. So we have to know that we can't quit in this season, because we have to keep moving. You cannot be getting caught with your works undone, as the old people used to say. You have to trust that progress is being made, even when the results are not visibly seen immediately. Because we also want, we think about, oh, I got this goal, or I want to do this, or I want to accomplish that. I want to go here. I want to do this. And then you start these journeys and you start doing this stuff. And then it's like, if you don't see it come to fruition within 30 days or 60 days and 90 days, you sometimes feel like you have no progression, and you feel like you're not going anywhere. And you feel like, oh, because I can't see a result, or because I can't, I don't have anything that's tangible that's in my hand, that means that I'm not making no type of progression. But even when you can't see the results that you may want right then and there, you still have to understand that you're making progress. You are on the journey that you're supposed to be on. And what you also have to understand is that sometimes marching forward isn't just about something that you're doing physically. It's about being obedient. It's about moving in faith. It's about marching forward in faith. Progress happens when people move forward despite fear. That's a quote. That ain't mine. That's a quote. Okay. Progress happens when people move forward despite having fear. And for me, I can say, as a personal story, when I had to take a step forward despite facing challenges, and different things like that. Not to get too personal, but just for me, I knew that a situation was no longer beneficial for me. I knew that that was nothing that was meant for me in this situation anymore. So I had to make the decision: do I stay or do I go? And sometimes moving forward means you have to let some things go in order to get to where you're supposed to go. Sometimes you have to let people go, and that also comes with being mature about it. You don't have to be negative. We don't have to be vindictive. We ain't got to go off on each other. We don't have to slander each other's name. We ain't got to cuss each other out. We don't have to do none of that. We have to find healthy ways of moving forward and releasing things that no longer serve us, because we can do a release, but we're still spiritually holding on to things, because we are verbalizing and we are diminishing and we are slandering and we are being vindictive and we're being evil. So that keeps you tied to whatever situation that you're in. When you can healthily release something from your life That means you are spiritually mature enough to know that you're ready to take the next step in progression with increasing the things that you have for your life, right? You're able to understand that this right here no longer serves me. So I got to figure out a way, how can I start breaking down these barriers to get to where I'm supposed to go? And what are some of those barriers that you may have, that we all may have when it comes to moving forward? You have the barrier of fear, you have the barrier of rejection, and sometimes you feel like you're not good enough. You feel like I'm gonna fail if I move forward. You feel like you're gonna fail if I start my business. You feel like you're gonna fail if I quit my job. You feel like you're gonna fail if I start school. You feel like you're gonna fail if I start dating again. You feel like you're gonna fail if you start doing something different with your hair. You know, some people, they go on a lock journey, or they do the big chop, or whatever the case may be. What barriers do you need to break down in order to move forward in the direction that you know is going to benefit you for the better of your life? Don't have and hold on to the spirit of fear, because you were not created with the spirit of fear. Don't hold on to the possibility of rejection, because rejection, unfortunately, it may be bound to happen. Everyone is not going to be for you. Someone may not like what you have to offer. Someone may not like what you look like. Someone may not look like the way that you walk, the way that you talk, but that is okay. The key is moving forward and being happy with yourself, being at peace with who you are, being at peace with who you were created to be, and understanding that even though some days I feel like I'm not good enough, I know deep down inside of my soul and in my heart that I know that God did not make a mistake with who he created. I am going to always be good enough for what's meant for me. What's not meant for me, I will never feel like I'm good enough for it. Who's not meant for me, they're never going to fit. Places that I'm not meant to be in, I'm never going to be accepted in. I'm never going to be comfortable. But even sometimes in your uncomfortability, you have to ask yourself, what fears are holding me back from moving forward? What is it that is keeping me from taking the steps that I'm supposed to be taking? What is it? How can I trace the things that I've been through to overcome that trauma, to overcome those past failures, to overcome that regret? So many people get stuck in replaying the same mistakes that they made instead of using them as stepping stones. So what you have to do, instead of looking at it as a obstacle, instead of looking at it as an opposition, mhm, instead of looking at it as an opposition, you have to look at it as, okay, I'm going to take this moment. I'm going to use this moment, and I'm going to look at it. Okay, I know I did this wrong. I made that mistake, but let me tweak it a little bit and let me use this as a stepping stone to try again. Or maybe it can cultivate and turn into something different. So don't look at your past failures and your past mistakes and just walk around in a seat of regret, in a moment of doubt, in a moment of fear, because you have to understand you got to forget what is behind and press forward to the, towards the mark of the high calling. You have to press towards the mark, because I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That is the scripture that we have our youth quote at our church before we start rehearsal, before we start any play, before we start anything with our youth. We have to build, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, because you can. Because as we all know, we're not born with a spirit of fear. That comes with, don't touch that, don't go over here, leave that alone. You scared, the boogeyman coming. All this other kind of, all this demonic stuff gets in our minds, and it penetrates our spirits, and it causes us to have this thing that we now call fear. Fear is not physical. Fear is all spiritual. Fear is all mental. Once you get it outside of your head, that no matter what I do, no matter where I go, no matter what I face, I know for a fact that I can break down these barriers. I don't have to have limited belief. I know that I can believe in myself. I know that I have power to achieve what I want to accomplish. I know that I have the capability to speak life into myself. I know I have the ability to achieve whatever goal that I set for myself. The things that I set for myself coming into 2025, there is nothing or no one that can stop me from accomplishing or achieving that. And excuse me for looking sideways, y'all. I'm buttoning up my son's little jacket here. But so many, and now that brings me to a point as being as a parent, not to say we're gonna get it all right, not to say that we're gonna be the best role model, but you have to let your children see some form of an example of what it means like to press forward, even when it feels like you have no fight left in you, even when it feels like I'm at the end of my rope, even when it feels like, Lord, I just can't make it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I have no earthly idea what this looks like. Even when you can't, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So you got to put forth the effort. You got to have the faith. You have to increase your emotion. You got to increase your movement. You got to let fear know that you can't live here. You can't settle down in my spirit and cause me to feel like I ain't nobody and I ain't nothing and I can't go nowhere. You, we can't do that. That's not what we're going to be doing. So you have to speak life into yourself. There you go. You have to speak life into yourself. You have to understand that whatever you did in the past is no longer, a part of who you are. It's no longer going to serve you in your future. It's no longer going to hinder you from getting to where you are supposed to be going, because you are now on a journey that says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And there is nothing, I don't know, there is nothing or no one that is living, breathing, and moving that is going to stop me from getting where I'm going. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how to speak those things. You have to get over that doubt. You have to let go of that fear. You gotta and let me be honest with you. No, let me be real and honest with you. Sometimes that also understand with you got to release people that doubt you, because sometimes people be slick. Girl, you got that little this, or now I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if you think, I don't think you should be doing that. Now I don't think that fits you, or now I don't think that look good on you. There's always going to be somebody that's going to look at you and tell you, no, I don't think you should. But sometimes you got to look at the messenger that's giving you the message, because just because they're giving it to you does not mean that they're giving you the right thing. That means they could be hating because they see something better in you than they see within themselves, because they say misery loves company. So that's why you have to be real careful and real particular about who you seek counsel from. I can't say seek wise counsel. So you got to be careful about who you seek counsel from, because sometimes people will speak negativity in your life and it will keep you stuck where you are. It will cause you to not want to move forward. It will cause you to not, want to progress. And so you can't do what Philippians 3:13 and through 14 says. You can't forget what's behind you and press forward, because they keep you stuck where you are. So you have to get over people doubting you. You have to get over financial struggles. You have to get over unexpected life events. Not necessarily get over, but you have to know how to navigate, because there are some unexpected life events that sometimes can pull you from the top and snatch your whole entire existence back. So you have to know and understand, how can I walk this thing out? How can I face these oppositions? How can I knock down this giant? How can I move in life with faith? How can I build my faith? How can I increase my faith? How can I move according to my faith? David faced oppositions, but he moved forward in faith. He tackled, I ain't gonna say he tackled, because he didn't tackle nothing. He wore down and defeated Goliath with strategy. So moving forward takes strategy. It takes patience. It takes wisdom. It takes maturity. It takes prayer, and it takes strategy. So you have to understand that you got to look at the external as well as the internal. You got to work on what's going on the inside as well as what's going on the outside, in order for you to understand how I can move forward and how I can do better and how to become a better person. I don't care if that's losing weight. I don't care if that's walking in your purpose. I don't care if that's starting a podcast, starting a new job, starting, um, being a better parent, being a better wife, being a better husband, being a better brother, sister, father, son, daughter, whatever that is. How do I move forward? It takes strategy. Okay. You have to know that you have to march forward with purpose. And the strategy that you have to have, I'm going to use the acronym for pray. I'm going to start with the letter P. You have to prepare. You have to prepare mentally. You have to prepare spiritually, and you have to prepare emotionally, and you have to position yourself for movement. For example, last night we was in choir rehearsal because I sang with the choir. So we was doing youth rehearsal. My youth choir director, she gave a good analogy for our kids in order for you, to get them to understand how they need to show up when you're on the field, when you're on the court, when you're in a game. You left it upstairs, or you're gonna have to wait. Okay, go find one of your other ones. Okay. When you're in a game, when you're on the field, when you're on the court, when you suiting up, when you got them pads on, when you got them shoes on, and you got the ball in your hand, and you running down the court, how you gonna show up for the game? Are you gonna haphazardly, run across the floor smoothing like you just gliding on ice? Are you gonna really put forth your effort and show up for the game because you want to win? So just like athletes don't show up on game day thinking they already got it, you gotta train, you gotta strategize, and you have to condition yourself. You got to condition yourself mentally. You got to condition yourself emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So you got to train. You got to get your body right. Being physically fit also helps with you being emotionally, mentally, and spiritually fit. Because when you feel better physically, you start to feel better, and you can clear your mind emotionally and spiritually and mentally. All the things that weigh you down, you're able to digress, and you're able to compartmentalize everything that is going through your mind, and you don't allow the things of life to get you. So what Oh, it's still gone? It works? Cool. So what you have to ask yourself is, what is one thing that I need to do to prepare for my next step? How can I start my next step to get to where I'm supposed to go? So how can I prepare myself in my and get my strategy right to move forward? Ask yourself that. You can put it, you can answer if you want to put it in the chat, put it in the comment section. Answer me. What is one thing that you need to do to prepare for your next step? That's your first step in moving forward. You have to prepare. Secondly, you have to refocus. And I say refocus because distractions are inevitable. They're going to come regardless of whether you want them or not. They're going to show up. They're going to be here looking like, hello, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and all the other kind of stuff. Because they're going to show up. Because a distraction, the enemy, comes to steal, kill, and destroy, right? The enemy is a distraction. The enemy comes to make you unlock your focus and lose the vision of the direction that you're going in, right? I was talking to a friend earlier, and just joking and whatnot. And so we were talking about in regarding to Peter walking on water and how he was walking towards Jesus, right? He took his eyes off Jesus. He got distracted and he started to sink, right? You can't take your eyes off the prize. You can't take your eyes off the goal. You can't take your eyes off the vision. Are you going to have things that's going to come up in life? Absolutely, because it's bound to happen. We just talked about unexpected life events. Um, sometimes struggles that may come up, people that you may have to deal with. We just talked about all of that. But the thing is, though, when you feel yourself starting to lose focus, you have to know how to recalibrate and get back in alignment and get back in focus on what you're supposed to be doing in the direction that you're supposed to be going in. So write down some of your goals and revisit them on a regular. What do I need to refocus on? What do I need to go take a look at? What did I tell myself that I wanted to? Where did I tell myself I wanted to be 5 years ago as of today, but I'm still not there? Let me go refocus on that. Let me go see, how can I get my dreams? How can I make my dreams a reality? How can How can I write it, write the vision and make it plain? How can I do that? You have to focus on the vision in order for you to know how to make it plain. When you write the vision, God will give you the provision in order to do what you just wrote. As long as it's within his will, he is going to guide you. So what distractions do you need to eliminate in order to be able to refocus and set your vision on the things that God has for you? And I could just say personally for me, one thing that I know for a fact that I need to stop, that I need to refocus on. I need to refocus on, just being transparent. I need to refocus on my health journey. I need to refocus and recalibrate on, making sure that I'm in alignment with getting my body physically the way that I know it's supposed to go, the way that it's supposed to be, the way that it is supposed to look. And what I can say, I had a recent doctor's visit, and I am, close to being off of the medication that the doctor had me on. My dosage has been cut in half. My blood pressure is where it's supposed to be. It is level now. I'm no longer having these body issues. I'm no longer feeling like, I'm about to pass out from high blood pressure or anything like that. So, but there are also still other things that I know that I need to be doing, that I can, work on to make sure that I'm in alignment of where I'm supposed to go. Third, you have to have some action. Okay. You prepared, you refocus. Now you got to act on it, right? Because we all know James 2 and 26, faith without works is dead. Now, the key thing is you don't have to take this big old leap, this big old giant hop. You don't have to take this, you ain't got to eat it chunk by chunk. You have to take small, consistent steps. That is what leads to big victories. So instead of you waiting for the perfect time, just start right now with what you got. And that's exactly what I did. Some people look at, people on these big name podcasts or these big name television shows or these big movies and driving these monsters, these expensive cars and with all the money in the bank and different things like that. But what you have to understand is a lot of these people didn't have trust funds that were handed to them. They didn't have these big conglomerate families with all this money. They weren't no tycoons, they weren't no moguls. They didn't have all this kind of stuff. These people had to work hard and get it out the mud. They had to take what they had at that moment, whether it was a cell phone, a handheld microphone, or a tape recorder, and start recording their content. They start recording. They set their phone. That's the same thing I did. I set my phone up, and yes, that's fine. You can go look for it upstairs. I set my phone up and started recording. I went live on Facebook, and that transformed into me speaking on stages across the state, across the nation. Now I'm an international motivational speaker. I've written through 2 books, best-selling author for one of them. So it's like when you start with what you have no idea what God is going to do to it, how he's going to blow on it, the direction that he's going to have you to go in. So you just have to start somewhere. One of my greatest friends, she is the CEO of a media company. Her Miss Angela Lewis. I know some of you all know her, and if you don't, make sure you follow her. Let me plug my girl in real quick. She started, I don't she started with like, okay, this is my dream. This is my vision. This is where I want to go. Now she has one of the best publishing agencies out there. Okay. She is doing major things. She has a morning show, Empower Mornings, that she does every morning at 7 a.m. in the morning. She has, multiple books that she's publishing. She has authors that are coming from everywhere just to be a part of the organization, just to be a part of what she's doing. But not only a part of what she's doing, but they see the God that's inside of her. that is moving forward and that is acting on what he is giving her, that is acting on what she had, what this is her heart's desire, and this is what she did, and God blew on it. Same way for myself. This was my heart's desire. This is what I want. I stopped for a while, but God said, I can't let you quit. You got to start this thing back up. And so for me, I had to learn, I had to prepare. I had to get myself ready. I had to refocus on what I wanted. There are some days where you gonna feel like you don't want to show up. It's some days where you gonna feel like, man, God don't know what you're doing, but I'm okay, here I am. And he's gonna say, good, all I need you to do is to show up. All I need you to do is have faith. All I need you to do is to take a step. All I need you to do is to just get up. All I need you to do is just crawl. All I need you to do is have the thought. All I need you to do is just have the heart. All I need you to do is have the will. All I need you to do is ask me and I will give it to you. Knock and the door shall be open. Seek and ye shall find. Y'all know the scripture. That's all I need you to do is just get here. All I need you to do is just prepare, refocus, act. And lastly, I need you to yield. I need you to yield. And what does yield look like? That means you have to trust the process and you have to trust God's timing. Because when you want to move, sometimes that ain't when God wants you to move. Waiting does not mean you ain't doing nothing. It means that you are staying in alignment while you are expecting the breakthrough that God has for you. So you have to get in alignment. You have to learn how to, God, okay, here you go. Tell me what I need to be doing. You want me to sit here or you want me to show up every Thursday? Cool, bet, say less. I'm here. I come here kicking, dragging, and screaming, but I'm here. I come here with a healthy mindset, but a tired body, but I'm here. Because if I know anything, I know that if God has led me to here, that means there is something else greater in me doing this right here. And just for an example, y'all know I like to use Bible for my little examples. An example that I thought about was the Israelites marching around Jericho for 7 days before seeing the walls fall. They had to yield to what they were told to do. They had to wait in order to see something happen, but they still worked. They still moved. They still prayed. They still praised. They still focused. They still had action. So understand that your seventh day is coming. Your day is coming. What I don't want you to do is don't give up too soon, expecting for it to happen today. Because sometimes we want the whole, oh, somebody prophesied over my life and God is going to do this and God's going to open the door and he's going to blow out a blessing. I ain't going to have room enough to receive. You get told this on a Monday. You want it to happen on Tuesday. That's not how God works sometimes. His timing is not our timing. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. So sometimes, sis, sometimes, king, you just got to be patient. But in your patience and in your diligence, you got to continue to seek him. You got to continue to ask him what he wants you to do. You got to continue to ask him what he wants you to say, who he wants you to be around, who he wants you to cut, who he wants you to remove yourself from. How does he want you to heal? What direction that you have that he wants you to go in? Personally, I can say that I have come through so much adversity. It took me a minute to understand this. I'm still trying to understand it because I'll be like, God, you be out here doing your thing. You be out here doing it. Sometimes it don't look the way I want it to look. I don't feel the way I want to feel, but I'm still here. And that's what you have to understand. So you got to ask yourself sometimes, what is a moment in your life that you had to push forward despite the challenges that you had? Because we're all going to be faced with challenges. We're all going to be faced with, with disposition. We're all going to be faced with sadness. We're all going to be faced with grief. We're all going to be faced with loss. We're all going to be faced with challenges. But how are you pushing forward through those challenges? How are you moving forward in those moments? You have to march forward with boldness, faith, and most importantly, strength. because there is no obstacle that can stop what God has in motion for your life. You are not your past. You are your purpose. And you got to understand that what is ahead of you is a whole lot greater than what's behind you. Behold, I am doing a new thing that it springs forward. Do you not perceive it? Do you not understand it? Do you not recognize it? Do you not want it? So you just got to know you got to show up in it. You got to, okay, here I go. What you want me to do? What do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? Who do you have me to reach out to? Who do you have me to connect with? What I want you to do this week, next week, moving forward, I want you to write down one faith step that you're going to take this week and moving forward. Remember, you got to prepare, you got to refocus, you got to act, and you have to yield. And if you don't know what that is, pray. Prepare, refocus, act, yield, pray. If you don't get nothing else, pray. So make sure you do what God is calling you to do with moving forward in your life. Don't fight, don't give up, don't hesitate, don't doubt, don't fear. Don't sit and feel like I can't do this. Don't sit and feel like I'm not enough. Don't sit and feel like I don't know what I'm doing, because even if you don't know what you're doing, still do it anyway until you figure it out. Because there's going to be somebody that is going to be watching you that's going to say, hey, sis, I see what you're doing. Let me help you. You never know who is going to open up their door, who's going to open up their arms, and who's going to pour out a blessing over your life. So I encourage you to prepare. I encourage you to refocus. I encourage you to act. I encourage you to yield. But most importantly, I encourage you to pray. Amongst everything that is going on in this world, don't focus on the distraction. Focus on your faith. Focus on your family. And focus on building your finances, your life. Focus on breaking generational curses, and focus on being in alignment with the purpose that God has for you, because greater is on the other side of where you are right now. Only if you prepare, refocus, act, and yield. Most importantly, pray. All right. So I hope you all enjoyed tonight's show. I thank each and every one of you all for hanging in here with me. I thank you all for showing up with me here every single week. If you have not, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the bell so you'll get any kind of notifications whenever I go live, anytime a video may drop, or whatever the case may be. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram at Life Tips by Jazz. I'm going to put my links right here in the comments. And if you have not, let me plug, make sure you pick up my book. It is on Amazon. How Did I Get Here? The Untold Journey to Finding Myself. Remember to just continue moving forward. Moving forward. If you got to challenge yourself, if you got to commit to a daily action toward your goal every single day. And in closing, Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for our lives. I thank you for this audience. I thank you for these people. I thank you for giving me this gift to be able to speak and give words of encouragement to your people. Allow what you have given me to register and get deep down into their hearts, their spirits, their minds. God, I ask that you be with them, cover them, protect them. Be with them, watch them from the crown of our head to the soles of their feet. Anyone that is grieving, anyone that is going through anything, God, I ask that you touch their lives tonight. I ask that you be with them on this journey, God. Speak over them, speak into them, and speak through them, Lord. Don't allow any hurt, harm, or danger to be upon them, to come upon them. God, I ask that you heal them. God, I ask that you be with them. Protect their homes, protect their loved ones, And these are the blessings that I pray in your son Jesus' name. Amen, everybody. You all enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been yours truly, Jasmine D. Village, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week on the F.L.Y Show, where the F.L.Y stands for First Love You. And remember to first love you because you absolutely deserve it. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Well, gotta open up your heart so the Holy Spirit can dwell in it. Ain't leaving